So you're planning a trip to Rome. I'm excited for you. I spent 3 weeks in Rome, traipsing from one side of the city to the other. It's an awesome city, easy to get around. It's walkable, you can take the metro, the buses. But looking back and understanding the lay of the city now, I would have scheduled things or planned things a little bit differently. So I thought I'd make a video for you. So if you're planning your next trip to Rome, this will help break down the city into 3 major sections. Obviously the piazzas and the fountains that you want to go see, the Vatican and the Basilica, and then we'll head over to the Colosseum, Palatine Hill, Roman Forum. Oh, it's all amazing. Along the way, I'll sprinkle in some amazing restaurants that you'll have to try on your way through the city. So let's get started. For the first part of the tour, I'll take you around to the famous fountains and piazzas that are primarily grouped in the center of the city, starting at the infamous Trevi Fountain. And I would recommend starting here early if you want to try and miss the crowds, because as the day goes on, the crowds get bigger. The fountain's first basic structure was built in ancient Roman times in 19 BC at the meeting place of 3 separate roads. This is where the name Trevi Fountain came from, derived from the Latin word trivium, meaning 3 streets. It was built as a water source for the city, constructed in the same material as the Colosseum. From there, we'll take just an 8-minute walk to the Spanish Steps. Their name is somewhat misleading. The Spanish Steps were not actually financed by the Spanish, but rather by a French diplomat. The Spanish part on the name refers to instead the Spanish embassy to the Holy See, which would have been located on Piazza de España at the base of the monument. After they were completed in 1725, the steps quickly gained a reputation for being a prime people-watching spot because they attracted a crowd. When you climb the steps to the base of the Triante de Monte Church, you get a spectacular view. Now come along with me for just another 8-minute walk to the Piazza del Popolo. Piazza del Popolo is one of the most famous and most beautiful squares in Rome. The name in modern Italian literally means People's Square. For centuries, Piazza del Popolo was a place for public executions, the last of which took place in 1826. Today, it's considered the beating heart of Rome, famous for its atmosphere, architecture, and cobbled floor. Piazza del Popolo is one of the most visited and celebrated squares in the Eternal City. From Piazza del Popolo, we'll take a 16-minute walk to Piazza Navona. Piazza Navona is another beautiful square in the center of Rome. This square has a unique elongated shape. The shape is the result of its original function as a stadium for athletic competitions with stands for 20,000 spectators. After the fall of the Roman Empire, houses were built where the stands used to be, but the long athletic field remained free of buildings and would later become Piazza Navona. Still hanging in there? I know, it's a lot of walking, but we just have one more short 4-minute walk over to the Pantheon. The Pantheon is one of the best preserved of all ancient Roman buildings, in large part because it's been in continuous use throughout its history since the 7th century. The original Pantheon was destroyed in a fire around 80 AD. It was rebuilt by the Emperor Domitian, only to be burned down again in 110 AD. I know that seems like a lot, and you could break that up if you wanted to. The whole loop is about 30 minutes, but of course in each piazza and plaza, you're gonna be stopping, taking photos, maybe touring. So it just gives you kind of the lay of the land. Now I bet you're hungry. So there's some great spots that I'd like to recommend for you that I know you won't be disappointed. Right next to the Pantheon is Armando El Pantheon. Armando El Pantheon is a staple in Rome. We enjoyed some great pasta, including the amatriciana and the carbonara. I would recommend you make a reservation. Another amazing spot called Luciano. This is another restaurant I would recommend making a reservation for. The cacio e pepe is divine. Oh my God. And you haven't had tiramisu until you've had it in Italy. Maybe you're in the mood for some pizza. Also around this area is Roscioli. Forno Roscioli is a bakery and pizzeria rolled into one, and you can eat some really great pizza. I think this was the best thin crust pizza that I had in Rome. And even if there's a line, it's worth the wait. And lastly, right next to Roscioli, you can find Fata Morgana, where you can indulge in the infamous Italian gelato. They have so many flavors to choose from, and they're all so good. It'll be the perfect ending to the perfect day. It's delicious. Okay. It's so light and refreshing. So I know that was a lot of information. That's why I broke up this whole video series into 3 parts. So check out part 2, where I will take you over to the Vatican, St. Peter's Basilica, and Castel Sant'Angelo. And until next time, get out. There's a whole world you deserve to see.